Welcome to a deep dive. Today we're looking at just one chapter from an ancient source, Joshua chapter 10, but wow, it's really something, packed with action.
It really is. It follows right after Israel has made peace with Gibeon, which you might think would calm things down.
But it does the opposite, right?
Exactly. It kicks off a huge conflict. Adoni-Zedek, he's the king of Jerusalem, he
Ugh.
hears about this peace deal and, well, he panics a bit.
And the text tells us why, doesn't it? Gibeon wasn't small fry.
Not at all. It says it was like a royal city, important, bigger than Ai, which Israel had already taken. And crucially, its soldiers were known as good fighters.
So this treaty, it really messes with the local power structure.
Completely. Adoni-Zedek sees it as a major threat. So he doesn't just sit there, he reaches out to 4 other Amorite kings nearby.
Okay, who are we talking about?
Let's see, the kings of Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. He sends them a message basically saying, hey, come help me punish Gibeon. They've sided with Joshua and the Israelites.
So 5 kings band together. Coalition.
Yep.
They gather their armies, march on Gibeon, set up camp, and just start attacking. It's a massive siege.
And the Gibeonites, Israel's new allies, they must be desperate.
Totally. They send this urgent message straight to Joshua, who's back at the camp in Gilgal.
What's the plea?
It's pretty stark. Don't abandon us. Come up quickly. Save us. Help us. All the Amorite kings from the hills are here.
Okay, so the pressure's on Joshua. Gibeon is counting on him. How does he react? Does he, send a scouting party?
No hesitation. It's an immediate, full-scale response. The text says Joshua marches up from Gilgal with his entire army, and it makes a point of saying, including all the best fighting men.
He's going all in for this new ally.
Absolutely. And before they even get there, something really key happens.
The divine assurance.
That's it. The Lord speaks to Joshua, tells him straight up, don't be afraid of them. I've already given them into your hand. Not a single one will be able to stand against you.
Wow. That's basically a guaranteed win before the fight even starts. Pretty much. So, armed with that promise, Joshua pushes his army hard. They march all night from Gilgal.
An all-night march. So they arrive and catch the coalition off guard.
Exactly. Surprise attack. And the battle kicks off with, well, another intervention. The text says, the Lord threw them into confusion before Israel at Gibeon.
So chaos among the Amorite forces right from the start.
Right. Israel routs them, wins a huge victory there at Gibeon, but it's not over.
The pursuit begins.
Relentlessly, they chase the fleeing enemies up the road towards Beth-horon, cutting them down as they go, heading towards Azekah and Makkedah.
And it's during this chaotic retreat, isn't it, that something even more extraordinary happens according to the text.
Yes, precisely. As they're running down that pass from Beth-horon, the text describes the Lord hurling, get this, large hailstones down on them from the sky.
Hailstones, like a freak hailstorm.
A divinely sent one, according to the source. And here's the incredible detail it emphasizes. More of the enemy soldiers died from these hailstones than from the swords of the Israelites.
Wait, seriously? More killed by hail than by combat.
That's what the text explicitly states. It's a powerful image, suggesting divine power overshadowed even the military effort.
That really drives home the narrative's perspective, doesn't it? That this wasn't just Israel winning, but something bigger.
Absolutely. And it sets the stage for maybe the most famous and debated event in the chapter. On that same day, Joshua speaks out.
In front of everyone.
Yeah. In the presence of Israel, he addresses the Lord. And his words are just staggering. O sun, stand still over Gibeon, O moon, over the valley of Ajalon.
He tells the sun and moon to stop.
That's the command, or plea recorded. And the text follows immediately with, so the sun stood still and the moon stopped till the nation avenged itself on its enemies.
Does this say where this idea comes from?
It actually mentions another source, saying something like, as it is written in the book of Joshua.
The Book of Joshua, what's that?
We don't have it today, but it seems to have been some kind of ancient collection, maybe poems or records, known back then. Referencing it here sort of adds weight to this extraordinary claim in the text.
And how long did this last, this stopping of the sun?
The text specifies, the sun stopped in the middle of the sky and delayed going down about a full day.
A whole extra day of daylight to
Yeah.
finish the fight.
Essentially, yes, giving them time to complete the route. And the text itself pauses to reflect on this. It says, flat out, there has never been a day like it before or since, a day when the Lord listened to a man.
That's an incredible statement.
It is. And then it gives the reason, circling back to the main theme. Surely the Lord was fighting for Israel.
That phrase again, it seems to be the explanation for everything in this chapter. The confusion, the hail, the sun standing still.
It's presented as the driving force behind Israel's victory. So after all this massive battle and pursuit, Joshua and the army head back briefly to the camp at Gilgal.
But what about the 5 kings who started it all?
Ah, right. They didn't die in the battle or the hailstorm. The text says they escaped and hid together in a cave near a place called Makeda.
So they're found out.
Yep. Someone reports it to Joshua. And his orders are interesting. He says, roll some big rocks over the mouth of the cave, trap them in there, and post guards.
So secure them, but don't deal with them yet.
Exactly, because his immediate command to the army is crucial. Don't you stop. Go after the rest of your enemies. Attack their rear guard. Don't let them get back to their fortified cities.
Keep the pressure on the fleeing soldiers.
Right, and he motivates them using that same divine assurance. For the Lord your God has given them into your hand. It's like God promised victory, now let's finish it.
Did it work? Did they catch them?
According to the text, yes.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly. It says Joshua and the Israelites basically wiped them out, almost to a man. Only a very small number managed to escape into their walled cities. The main army was destroyed.
Okay, so then they deal with the kings.
Then they return to Joshua at the camp near Makeda. And the text adds this detail. No one uttered a word against the Israelites, suggesting everyone was pretty awestruck or terrified by what had happened.
A complete victory then. Now the king's in the cave.
Right. Joshua says, bring them out. So they bring out the 5 kings, Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, Eglon, the ones who started the whole thing.
And this is done publicly.
Very publicly. He calls all the men of Israel, especially the army commanders, to come forward.
What happens next?
He tells the commanders, come here and put your feet on the necks of these kings. It's a powerful, symbolic act of total domination in that ancient context.
And they do it.
They do. They place their feet on the necks of these defeated kings. And right then, Joshua gives a speech.
What does he say?
It's aimed at bolstering courage for the future. He says, don't be afraid, don't be discouraged, be strong and courageous. Then he points to the kings and says, this is what the Lord will do to all the enemies you are going to fight.
So this humiliation is meant as an example, a promise of future victories.
Exactly. A tangible sign that God will give them victory over all their enemies. After that, Joshua himself strikes and kills the 5 kings.
And what happens to the bodies?
They're hung on 5 trees until evening, which was apparently a practice for displaying defeated enemies. At sunset, Joshua orders them taken down.
And thrown into the cave.
Into the very cave where they hid. Then they seal the entrance with large stones, and the text adds a note like, they're still there to this day, suggesting it became a known landmark marking their defeat.
So the coalition is defeated, the kings are dealt with. Is that the end of the chapter?
Not quite. It shifts gears immediately into describing a swift military campaign through the southern region. It's like, okay, the main threat is gone, now let's consolidate control.
The conquest of the cities. And there's a pattern here, isn't there? A grim one.
A very consistent and brutal pattern, as described in the text. First, Makeda, the city near the cave. Joshua attacks it, takes the city, kills the king, puts everyone in the city to the sword, totally destroying everyone, left no survivors. It explicitly says he did to its king what he did to the king of Jericho.
Complete destruction. And it continues.
Yes. They move to Libnah, same story. The Lord gives it into their hand. They attack, put everyone to the sword, no survivors. King treated like Jericho's.
Then Lachish.
Then Lachish. This one, the text notes, took them until the 2nd day to capture. A slight delay, but the outcome described is identical city, and everyone put to the sword, just like at Libnah.
And wasn't there someone who tried to help Lachish?
Ah, good point. Yes, Horam, the king of Gezer. He shows up with his army to help Lachish. Joshua defeats him and his army too again, leaving no survivors. Any resistance is crushed.
Okay, after Lachish.
They move on to Eglon. Attack it, capture it that same day, same formula. Put everyone to the sword, total destruction, just like Lachish.
Hebron next.
Up to Hebron. Attack it. Take the city, its king, its surrounding villages, everyone in it. Put to the sword, no survivors left. Total destruction, just like Eglon.
And finally, Debir.
Finally, they turn and attack Debir. Take the city, its king, its villages, put them to the sword, totally destroy everyone, no survivors. It explicitly compares the treatment of Debir and its king to Libnah and Hebron. This repetition of total destruction is really emphasized.
So the chapter ends by summarizing this whirlwind campaign.
Right. It says Joshua conquered the whole region, the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills, the mountain slopes, and all their kings.
And it repeats the destruction language one last time.
It does. He left no survivors. He totally destroyed all who breathed. And then, crucially, it adds the justification from the text's viewpoint, just as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded.
So the severity is directly linked to a divine command in the narrative itself.
Explicitly. The text also outlines the territory covered, from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza and the whole area of Goshen up to Gibeon. It's a significant chunk of land.
And the final sentence brings it back home.
Yes. It concludes the summary by hammering that central theme one last time. All these kings and their lands Joshua conquered in one campaign because the Lord, the God of Israel, fought for Israel. Success is attributed solely to God's intervention.
And then finally, Joshua and Israel return to the camp at Gilgal. End of campaign, end of chapter.
What a chapter. I mean, the concentration of just, well, everything is incredible. Alliance building, huge battles, these dramatic divine interventions, confusion, hailstones, the sun and moon thing, then the king's capture and execution, followed by this lightning-fast, systematic destruction of city after city, all framed as one campaign.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it, when you read it through? What really jumps out is the speed, the scale of the fighting, or maybe that language of total destruction, or perhaps those really extraordinary miracles like the sun standing still.
For me, it's often that direct link the text makes between the command of God and the actions taken, especially concerning the destruction. He totally destroyed all who breathed, as the Lord had commanded. That framing within the source itself as well, it's powerful and challenging to engage with.
And like we kept saying, that idea, the Lord was fighting for Israel.
Yeah.
It's not just mentioned, it feels like the absolute foundation for how the story is told. It explains everything that happens.
Yeah, it's presented as the ultimate reason for their success in this intense period. This chapter really shows a pivotal moment in the larger story, a rapid takeover of a major region, all attributed to divine power.
So, wrapping up our look at Joshua 10, we saw the coalition form against Gibeon, Israel's incredibly swift military and divinely aided response, the hailstones, the sun and moon, the capture and execution of the kings, and that rapid-fire conquest of southern cities, all under the banner of God fighting for them.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? With all these extraordinary claims, cosmic events tied to battle outcomes, leadership decisions seemingly guided by divine promises, the stark reality of the described conquest. What part of this account strikes you the most? What questions does it stir up about, how we understand conflict or leadership or faith as presented in this ancient text?
Definitely food for thought. We encourage you to delve into the source yourself and see what you discover.
Until next time.